Hello there, first graders. So we are ready for the next step of this project. Now that we have our Starry Night pumpkin drawing finished, inspired by Vincent Van Gogh, we're gonna start painting with watercolors. Now before you start painting, I need you to double check. You should have on a paint shirt, and you are going to need a messy mat with your picture on top. So then if any paint comes off of your paper, it'll stay on that messy mat instead of getting on our nice tables, okay? Now, I have my watercolors, my paintbrush, and I do have a water cup. It's just over here so you can't see it. And my water cup is filled halfway. Remember, we always fill our water cups only halfway. Now, with watercolors, let's review for a moment here. We always paint in light to dark order. That is why my paint palette goes from yellow, which is the lightest, all the way to black, which is going to be the darkest. Notice how nice my paints look right now. They're not mixed together because I do my best to try to not mix my colors together by painting lightest to darkest. Okay, so that means when I'm painting, I can't just start with black. I have to start with yellow. And then when I'm done with yellow, I'll clean my brush, and then I'll go on to orange. When I'm done with more orange, I'll clean my brush, go on to the next color. You might not need some of these colors, so you can go ahead and skip them if you don't need them, okay? Remember, every time we're using Mr. Paintbrush, your Mr. Paintbrush might look different than mine, but we use them all the same way. We have to hold Mr. Paintbrush like a pencil, so we're not holding him way up here. He won't stay in the lines if we hold him way up here. Hold him near the bottom like a pencil. And when we're painting, we don't want to damage his hair, so that means we can't smash him or twist him around. We need to be very, very gentle when we're painting. Alrighty? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I won't paint my whole picture, but I just wanna show you how to use these supplies as a review, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get my brush wet really quick. And I am gonna start with yellow. Not everybody's going to use yellow. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just going to use some yellow, and I'm going to paint it over top of where I put my moon and my stars. See, I'm running out here, so I have to grab some more. And you might not want to do this. You might want your sky to be all one color. Your sky could be all blue or all black. It is up to you. But I do like having a little bit of extra yellow there. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna do for my yellow. So then I can take my brush, which it's not super dirty because again, there's just yellow on it. I clean it off. I can feel that Mr. Paintbrush is touching the bottom of the cup to make sure it's all clean. And my brush is all clean. So that means I can go on to my next color, which is going to be orange. And I'm gonna paint my pumpkins orange. As I'm doing this, I'm going very slow. I'm holding Mr. Paintbrush like a pencil, and I'm trying my best to stay in the lines. We don't need to go super duper fast. If you go super duper fast, you might get out of the lines and your painting might not look as nice. And I'm starting to run out of color there, so I can go back. I could get some more water, but I can see that my paint is pretty wet, so I'm just gonna go right back into that paint. Oh, there we go, that looks better. Okay, and then there is pumpkin number 1. So then I would keep doing these same steps until I have my whole painting painted. Now there's a few different things you can do. Like I already mentioned, your sky, you could do it blue or black, depending on how dark you want it to be. Your ground, excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice. Your ground down here, we talked about this in the last video. You could paint it green or you could paint it brown, depending on if you want your pumpkin patch to be muddy or have grass, okay? Your pumpkins could be different colors. Maybe you want one to be yellow. Maybe you want one to be brown. Maybe one is red. It is completely up to you. Just make sure you're painting lightest to darkest, using your paintbrush the right way, and make sure you're taking care of your supplies.